Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, I've got my teacher's hat firmly on because, well, we really need to talk about our classrooms. We're looking at the undeniable reality of AI in education. As educators, we are literally standing on the edge of a massive shift. So I want to walk you through exactly what this means for us and our students, cutting straight through all the noise. Let's get right to the heart of learning.
Let's just address the elephant in the room right away. Is AI making my kids dumb? Honestly, it's a gut reaction panic I know we've all heard over a quick coffee in the teacher's lounge. And you know what? It's a completely valid fear. We see students using ChatGPT to crank out essays or solve math homework, and our immediate instinct is to worry about cognitive decline. But to really get what's going on here, we have to look past that initial panic and actually examine the underlying mechanics of intelligence itself. All right, Section 1, the cost of learning and reevaluating the energy of intelligence. Before we jump to conclusions about how AI is impacting our students' brains, we kind of need to reframe how we think about the effort it takes to build intelligence in the first place. You hear people arguing all the time about the massive raw computing energy it takes to train an AI model, but they almost always completely forget the biological reality of our own intelligence.
Think about it. To get a smart human, it takes roughly 20 years of life. That's mountains of food consumed, plus the entire evolutionary history of 100 billion human beings. Our ancestors had to learn not to get eaten by predators, figure out basic science, and just survive long enough to eventually produce, well, you. Comparing all of that unbelievable biological and historical effort to just the raw training energy of an AI model sitting on a server farm, it's just a totally unfair comparison.
So, what's the actual fair comparison? It's answering a single question. Once an AI model is totally trained, if you ask it a question, how much energy does it take to generate that answer compared to a human doing the exact same cognitive task? When you measure energy efficiency that way, wow, AI has likely already caught up to us. It is remarkably, incredibly efficient. And that specific level of instantaneous efficiency, that's exactly what our students have sitting right in the palms of their hands today.
Which brings us to Section 2, the classroom dilemma. Let's bring this discussion right back down to the classroom floor. We need to evaluate how our students are actually reacting to this ultra-efficient technology. Because right now, looking at our schools, we are seeing two very distinct types of student approaches emerging.
First up, we've got to acknowledge the reality. We have the lazy student. These are the kids who proudly declare, I cheated my way through all of high school. I never did any homework. They just bypass the work entirely, and when you ask them about their life plan, they just assume they're going to use an AI chatbot to do their future jobs too. As educators, we know this is an absolutely terrible life plan. Relying 100% on a machine without building your own foundational skills, that is a total recipe for personal and professional disaster. But here's the thing, most kids actually aren't doing that at all. Contrast that previous mindset with the builder student. They're the ones saying, look at this thing that I've just made. I've built these incredible new workflows. They're using this exact same tool not to dodge the work, but to accomplish unbelievable things. They're using AI the way we used to use a graphing calculator or the library, but at literal lightning speed, pushing their own boundaries and capabilities way beyond what we'd normally expect. So, what does this all mean for us? Honestly, it just reiterates our fundamental mandate as teachers. Our jobs haven't disappeared, they've just shifted. We absolutely must continue to teach kids how to learn, how to think critically, and how to be creative. But crucially, we now have to add a brand new pillar. We have to teach them how to use these powerful tools responsibly and effectively, right alongside those foundational thinking skills. We literally cannot let the tool replace the thinking. It has to enhance it. Now, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of this, let's jump to Section 3, history repeating itself. I want to offer a calming perspective here by taking a step back to look at a previous technological panic that totally rocked our schools. Because the truth is, fellow educators, we have absolutely been here before. Cast your mind back to 1998. When Google first arrived, there was absolute panic in the education world. In fact, our source material today features a great anecdote about a middle school teacher back then who flat out declared that Google was the worst thing ever. This teacher genuinely thought there was no point to teaching anymore because kids no longer needed to memorize the historical dates that figures were born. They could just look it up online. But over the next few years, teachers found peace with it, and eventually the whole education system evolved. And let's be real with ourselves for a second. Rote memorization of easily available facts, like historical birth dates, actually was kind of a massive waste of instructional time. Letting a search engine handle the basic data retrieval freed up vital cognitive space for our students to actually analyze history rather than just rotely reciting numbers.
The tool didn't ruin education, right? It actually made our teaching way more focused and efficient.
Which brings us to our final and honestly, most exciting chapter. Section 4, Unleashing Student Potential and the New Baseline for Education. Now that we've seen exactly how history played out with search engines, we really have to pivot to the future with AI. Our teaching methods must adapt today so we can unlock entirely new levels of student capability tomorrow.
See, there's this inevitable adaptation cycle that always follows disruptive technology in our classrooms. Step 1, the new tool is introduced. Step 2, teachers eventually come to peace with it. Step 3, the education system evolves to incorporate it. But it's step 4 that is absolutely crucial for us to grasp right now. Expectations go up. Raising our expectations of what a student can actually achieve is the natural, necessary final step in this whole cycle.
Because expectations are going up, we are facing an urgent pedagogical need. We have to find new ways to teach and evaluate. Think about it. You literally cannot assess a student who has an AI in their pocket using a test designed for the pencil and paper era. It just doesn't work. We have to completely overhaul our evaluations to ensure that every single kid, not just those intuitive builders we talked about, but the ones tempted to cheat too, is brought along in this transition. The bar is officially raised. Because this technology exists, our students must think harder. They must create more. They must vastly expand their potential. Our job is no longer to just, dispense information. Our job is now to challenge them to use these AI tools to solve way more complex, multifaceted problems than any generation before them was ever asked to tackle in school.
And that leads us to such an incredibly enthusiastic vision for the future. There's a really powerful quote from our source material that outlines this perfectly. A kid born today, when graduating high school, will be able to do things that no one today can. Just picture that. Think about the 18-year-old of the future standing on that graduation stage, fully equipped with AI as a seamless extension of their own intellect. Their baseline of capability is going to represent an unprecedented leap in human potential. It's not a scary thought at all. It's a magnificent one.
Which brings us right to the ultimate question for all of us to ponder as we wrap up today. If a kid born today can use AI to do things no one today can, how will you change the way you teach them? As fellow educators, I challenge you to step up, completely rethink your lesson plans, and fully embrace this evolutionary leap in learning. Let's not fear the tool. Let's figure out exactly how to build the future with it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see what you do in your classrooms. Catch you next time.